Dave Sharma, great to see you again. Look, what was your reaction when you were able to confirm under your excellent interrogation that Penny Wong hadn't met with any Israeli officials at all, but yet had met with the Iranian Foreign Minister, the Palestinian West Bank Prime Minister and others?
Well, I was staggered. And bear in mind, Sherry, this is a foreign minister who talks about Israel more than she does almost any other topic. She's almost obsessed with the Middle East and Israel's behaviour. So you would think when she's going to the UN, when she's changing our votes on a number of UN resolutions, when she's giving a speech at the UN, which is almost entirely focused on the Israeli-Arab conflict, she would bother to seek out an Israeli counterpart and have a discussion with them. But instead, she meets the Iranian foreign minister, she meets the Jordanian foreign minister, she meets the Lebanese foreign minister. She goes to dinners about the two-state solution and advancing the peace process where there is not even a single Israeli representative present. I just find it staggering. It shows you that a lot of this government's activism, if you like, in this space is not actually about achieving results on the ground. It's about messaging to a domestic audience here in Australia.
Do you think it's got to the point where it's bordering on treachery or disloyalty? I mean, it seems to be treating Australia's enemies who don't share our values of freedom and democracy, treating those enemies better than she's treating our strategic and long-term, meant to be bipartisan allies.
Well, that's right. I mean, Israel is a long-standing friend and partner of Australia, and I would say it's still one of the most important relationships we have on any metric in the Middle East for looking out for Australian interests. So even on the cold-hearted national interest calculations, this is an important relationship. But what we have seen this government, this Labor government, do time and time again, Minister Penny Wong do time and time again, is go out of their way to insult Israel, to trash the relationship, whether it's calling in the Israeli ambassador for a dressing down by a junior minister, whether it's appointing a former chief of the Defence Force to conduct an investigation and then whitewashing the results of that investigation. All we've seen from this government is, I think, egregious and intentional attempts to damage our relationship with Israel in a way that's fundamentally at odds with our national interests.
I want to get your comment about this scandal over the Chinese warships and the live-fire drill exercises. We've heard different versions of events from Albanese, from Richard Marles and from others. Do you think the Prime Minister has misled the public? Do you think he needs to apologise? And again, do you think he's not defending our sovereignty and our national interest enough?
Well, I think the Prime Minister has misled the public, whether it was intentionally or out of ignorance, I'm not sure. But I think more importantly, perhaps, his government has also let down the public. I mean, it has taken us, coalition senators in Senate estimates, asking questions of defence officials, foreign affairs officials and others to piece together exactly what happened and some of the grievous missteps that have taken place along the way. So we've got Anthony Albanese saying that advance notification was given of this exercise. No, that was not the case. We did not find out until the exercise was already underway. We've had Richard Marles saying the Australian Defence Force was tracking this Chinese PLA Navy task force the whole time. No, it wasn't. We didn't have eyes and ears on it. We had to rely on a passing Virgin aircraft to find out that this live fire activity had commenced. And then we've had Anthony Albanese refused to say and refused to confirm that he's even convened a National Security Committee meeting of Cabinet to discuss the implications for Australia. I mean, the important point to note here is it's a live fire exercise now. There's certainly a threat to commercial and civil aviation, but China is testing our response and our resolve here and how we handle incidents like this. And they're trying to set a precedent as well. And the way we have handled this, we've failed the test that they've set us. We have basically said, we're not going to keep a very close eye on you. We're not going to object very strongly. When you do this, we're going to make apologies for you, which seems to be what Anthony Albanese and Richard Marles seem to be going around and doing all this week, trying to carry China's brief and explain their actions. They should be standing up for Australia and they should be pushing back against what is, on any measure, a provocative and intimidatory set of exercises by the PLA Navy.